If you're planning on wholesaling in 2026, stop. Guys, in this video, I'm going to show you the exact things you need to be successful in 2026. I'm going to show you how to calculate your value, how to become ultra disciplined in wholesaling. I'm going to teach you about the importance of AI follow-up, and then we're going to get into the numbers of how to get leads for the best value possible. But before I get into it, do me that favor, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button so other people can find the truth out about wholesaling. So hopefully you stopped before you started. If you understand the 4 pillars I'm going to teach you today, you can move forward wholesaling in 2026. If you don't get this, you're going to be left doing dated techniques in wholesaling. Who knows it better than Rick Ginn, who's done wholesaling for over 23 years? Guys, going into 2026, the rules have changed in wholesaling. Now, here's the good news. You have to understand your value. Number one, you have to understand the fundamentals of wholesaling. I'm going to be honest with you, in the last 10 or 12 years, a lot of people lost the fundamentals of wholesaling and they don't understand it. What do I mean by that? If you do wholesaling correct, you minimize your risk and you maximize your reward. That's what makes wholesaling so attractive. That's why you're watching this video. But if you decided to do the speculative route and all these strategies to work around wholesaling because you feel like it's too hard, you don't understand the fundamentals. When we buy wholesale deals, we are making money today. If somebody wants to take a massive risk, increase their risk, and fund the deal, do the whole thing, which you can, that is called speculation. And wholesaling is always derived on the fundamentals of minimize reward, maximize return. And that's the only way we teach you. So go over to freewholesaling.com. I'll always preach the fundamentals of wholesaling because I understand it. I've survived in the best, the worst market. Honestly, the last 10 or 12 years, it's been crazy. The last 4 years have gotten back to the fundamentals. And if you follow us at freewholesaling.com, you'll understand. If you do the fundamentals of wholesaling, here's the cool part. You can't lose money. Anyone who tells you they lost money in wholesaling is not wholesaling. They're doing what they call speculation, which is something I don't teach. Number two, knowing your value is if you have a job and you go out there and work and you make at least $20 to $25 an hour, which is typical. I get it. You hate your job. You hate your boss. Welcome to the Rick Ginn Club. But the reality is some of you guys give up your jobs that actually pay you decent wages and give you benefits. I've already told you, I worked about 8.5 months before I quit my job because my job got in my way of wholesaling, but I had people I had to provide for. So know your value. The reality is you can leverage your money and time if you have a current job. Now, listen, if you're dead broke, go over to freewholesaling.com. You are going to have to put in a ton of time because you don't have capital. But if you do have a job, what if we could pay someone $4 to $5 an hour to do all that grinding and cold calling and all the stuff you don't want to do, and you make $20, $25 an hour, take an overtime shift, do a weekend? It is a better and higher use of your time. If you decide to do all the cold calling yourself, you're going to give up 160 to 180 hours of your time. And honestly, that's $3,000 to $4,000. Plus you have no income. Guys, leverage what you currently have. This is how I got started in wholesaling. If I'm going to make 20 or 30 bucks an hour, why not just pay someone to do the low level tasks? Now, it doesn't excuse you from understanding the fundamentals of wholesaling, but if you understand you can leverage your current position, I know you hate it. I hated it, but why not have a plan to fire your boss and utilize people that where you can do something that you don't like, but it's not that hard? Because I'm going to tell you, spending 160, 170 hours cold calling on ice cold list is brutal. Let's face it. You don't have the experience. You don't know how to manage the KPIs. I'm going to show you how to navigate through that. So understand your value. If you have a current job, you got good income with benefits, utilize it and leverage others to help you get a head start in wholesaling in 2026. Step 2, how do we create discipline to be super successful in wholesaling in 2026? Guys, this one's simple. I always teach you to run a marathon. I've watched wholesaling almost 24 years now, and there is one factor. It's a hamster wheel going around and around. The coaches you see today won't be there tomorrow. The coaches that brought you up 4 or 5 years ago, they're all gone. Why is that? Because they're sprinters. If you truly want to make it in this business and you want to be on the other side of 24 years like Rick Ginn, for heaven's sakes, commit. Go all in. Stop trying. Change your tries and your shoulds into a must. There's a reason you brush your teeth every day, because you want to save your teeth, you want to look good, and you don't want bad breath. But it took time to get disciplined. You were young. So if you're in wholesaling right now, you're going to have to make a commitment. I will tell you right off the bat, if I'm starting in 2026, if you can't commit and give everything you got for 90 days, even if you're working a full-time job, which I did, it's going to be brutal. If you guys are expecting a miracle get-rich-quick scheme, wholesaling is not for you. And a lot of you guys come in expecting miracles, like to solve it. Now, there are some rare exceptions, don't get me wrong, but here's the one truth of wholesaling. He or she that commits will always be successful. People that try, don't make make wholesaling a must, I already know what's going to happen to you. You don't want it. You just want the end of the rainbow, but you got to go through the chaos to get to the calm. You've got to replace fiction with fact. You've got to get rid of your drama and focus on the data. And if you can't do that, you won't do that. And the reality is 90 days is just to start build momentum. Remember, you're starting from zero. It takes a lot of inertia to get going. 90 days is the bare essentials to learn the fundamentals and get up and going and easily get your first contract. And if you need some help, go over to join m2m.com. We have a program where we actually guarantee your success in 90 days if you will commit, if you will make the phone calls, if you'll become a marketing machine. We do 3 lives a week. Guys, it's a program out there. It's extremely affordable and you can pay along as you go. But you can go to freewholesaling.com even if you have no money either way, 90 days. Now, after that, guys, it's really going to take you a year to get the fundamentals and the foundation of wholesaling and get cash in your bank account and become not a slave to your job. And my goal is to help you make a decision so you can leave your boss. What about this dream? Firing your boss. It was my greatest dream and it came true. And I got giddy going to work thinking I'm going to fire this a-hole. I couldn't stand him. 12 years. He's the worst boss ever. Watch movies like Bad Boss and stuff like that. I lived it. And this is through the 90s, which was a really, really tough time for me. So I know your struggles. Make the commitment. And then if you give 2 years of your total life, you can get anything you want through wholesaling. I am not kidding you on this. 90 days is to get traction, to get your first contract. 1 year is to get you financially free and fire your boss. 2 years, you can do anything you want in this business. In fact, I'm going to tell you, you're going to expand. And you might be on video marketing like Rick Ginn does. You know why? Because I've mastered marketing. That is the fundamentals of wholesaling. If you don't know how to market, you have to succumb to others and give up at least half your deal. So always learn the basics, the fundamentals. You have to market, you have to commit, and you have to know your value so you can leverage others. So guys, the commitment, 90 days to really get your first contract, 1 year to become financially free and fire your boss, and 2 years to do anything you want. Guys, 24 months. Are you willing to pay that price to get ahead? I did. My son did. Thousands of others I've taught. You are no difference. You've got to change this mindset going into 2026. Step number 3 is understanding how follow-up works and understanding if you don't use AI with your follow-up, you are so far behind. Honestly, you're going to get crushed in 2026. What do I mean? I own a company called X Leads. We focus on the follow-up process for one reason. Most of my deals, 70 to 75% of them come in the follow-up. What do you mean, Rick? Well, listen, when I reach out to someone who's on the tax delinquency list, they just haven't accepted the fact that they need to sell the house to get out of this problem. And I have to follow up with them sometimes 3, 6 months, sometimes even a year. In fact, most people who meet have to have a follow-up process. Now, when I started out wholesaling, I followed up manually. I had a cell phone, I'd send a manual email, and I would visit in person. And I could keep up with maybe 200 to 300 follow-ups, but honestly, I was terrible at it. It was a nightmare. I let deals fall through all the time. Fast forward going into 2026, the new game in wholesaling is about volume. You need a tremendous amount of volume, and those that can do volume and institute an AI follow-up system like X Leads, you're going to dominate in 2026. Why? Automated conversations via text. Amazing. Yes, you're going to have to take 30 days and get your X Leads set up A2P. And you know what? The people that complain, oh, it's so hard, it's a lot of work. Guys, you're running a sprint. If you want to learn to run a marathon, you're going to have to train. So you're going to have to take 30 to 60 days to figure out a software like X Leads, which is an amazing tool. And by the way, $97, xleads.com, you get everything. You get all your marketing data, the list, you get 25,000 leads. You can skip trace them in there. You can do all your comping. You can do all your e-sign services, and you get this amazing AI technology to follow up so you can manage, ready for this, 10 to 30,000 follow-up leads every month. How are you going to do that without some sort of AI tool to follow up with? The good thing is X Leads is built around AI, and it's here to make you an assassin when it comes to follow up. In fact, if you understand this game is about volume and you're going to have to work anywhere from 10,000 to 30,000 leads a month, you're wasting your time and money if you do not have a robust follow-up system. And honestly, I don't care if you do PPL, PPC, direct mail, cold call, SMS. If you do not have an amazing AI technology that will automatically follow up with these leads, you're going to leave a lot of money on the table and you're going to get frustrated. Remember, most people wholesaling are just trying. We teach you how to actually do it. Most people will not invest in these systems. And keep in mind, the entire systems, even the basics, is less than $100 a month. You can't go wrong. Most of you guys are paying $500 to $1,000 a month. I want to simplify this. This is why we developed X Leads. Follow up, guys. You need tremendous volume. As Grant Cardone says, 10x. I do believe in that. And you have to do that in wholesaling, especially especially in the beginning. Without a follow-up system, it is torture in my opinion, and it sets you up for failure. So don't do that going into 2026. Volume and have an incredible AI follow-up system. So number 4, we're going to talk about like the cost of leads, and I'm going to make this super simple and show you where 2026 is going. So up to this point, you only had a few options. You could do PPL on average, $150 a lead, and you got to bid it. And honestly, you guys think because you're paying more that you're getting more value. Don't get me wrong. There are high-end leads you can buy, but the reality is most of you can't afford it. Either you have to sign up for a program, you got to be on a subscription service, which is valid, but honestly, how many leads do you need? On average, when you do it, even on like a PPL, you're going to need 25 to 30 leads. If I pay $150, it's way too much money. And that reason, it's out of your league, and it's only for the elite wholesalers like me and Zach. But the reality is we're thinking about you, and 2026 is changing because we're bringing competition to bring down pricing and make more leads available to you. What do I mean? Number 1, we offer the Dollar Leads Club. Yeah, go to dollarleads.com. For the first time, you can buy leads as low as $1. I know what you're saying. Rick, is that crap? Here's the reality. There are people that have owned a property and at some point expressed interest in selling it. You're going to have to go on average at least 500 leads to have a shot. Yes, I said it, 500, but you're paying $500 for a shot at 500 leads. You can find a deal in there. In fact, we have example after example all over. See, because before you had to go to these fancy websites, get all this fancy information and pay on average $100, $150 a lead. For the first time, the small-time wholesaler has a shot. Why would I do this? Number 1, they are not exclusive leads, just to be fair, and they are leads that failed at some point, and it's in a follow-up system. So if you use Dollar Leads Clubs with a system like X Leads and automate your follow-up, you have to win with it. But if you don't use them in combination, it's going to be problematic. I don't even want you to do it. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You're going to have to work. You're going to have to call through and prospect through all 500 leads. They're not all going to be good, but you're buying in bulk and you're getting a shot. It is much better than you calling 12,000 high-equity cold call leads and spending 180 hours of your time. You can spend 20, 30 hours, rip through these lists. You don't need a multi-line dialer. It's very straightforward, and it expedites your process on getting your first wholesale deal. It is not a miracle. It does not replace the fundamentals of wholesaling, but it is an option that only Rick and Zach will give to you. Dollarleads.com. Check it out. And we're getting better and better with the data. It's very straightforward. And remember, we don't email it to you. We deliver it to you through a portal, and they trickle out each day. Check it out. But guys, don't buy 100 leads and think I'm going to save your life with it. It doesn't work that way. Remember, I said volume. Would you rather pay $500 for dollar leads or buy a lead for $150 and maybe only have 3 shots? You're never going to work on those numbers. Now, as I said, PPL is an option, but it's really not for the beginner investor. And that's the reason. And no PPL company has ever churned what the return on investment is, because it depends on your skill level and how much you spend on leads. Remember, if I spend $10,000 on leads and I get one $12,000 deal, did I really make a lot of money? No. And that's why those numbers are confusing. Remember, Rick and Zach are wholesalers first. We were always wholesalers. And then we designed our products and companies around what the average wholesaler needs. There's not many people that can go in and build companies the way we do it, because we always think about wholesaling. Wholesaling is near and dear to my heart, and that's what I want to do. Now, if you don't like the dollar lead, there's a step up. It's called our diamond leads. It's just under $500, and you get 56 exclusive leads. Check this out. With the MP3 file, you get the location where it's at. You get it on a visual map. These are nationwide leads, Dollar Leads and Diamond Club, and you get the MP3 file. And here's the best part. They average about $3.88. Let's call them $4 a lead. How can you go wrong with this? Now, keep in mind, they are not going to be perfect, but they are exclusive when you buy them, and you get the MP3 file. And honestly, at the end of the day, I love all the PPL sites that gives you all these scoring and grading and AI. It's great. By the way, you can do that all inside of X Leads. And number 2, the most important piece of information you can get is the MP3 file. Now, I've seen companies where they transcribe it. I think it's really cool. Honestly, listening to the actual tone of the seller is very helpful. Guys, people, if you want to cut and streamline and you're extremely confident in closing people, the Diamond Leads is a great alternative. It saves you time. You got to pay a little bit more money, but it cuts you to the front of the line. Would you rather put $500 in Diamond Leads or $4,000 or $5,000 into PPL? And by the way, you're going to have to do that almost on a weekly basis. Who's got 20, 30 grand to drop on PPL? Listen, there are higher quality leads. I don't doubt that for a moment, but we need to create the best value for it. The last one I want you to understand, if you don't want to cold call on your own, I've already showed you it's going to cost you 160 to 180 hours of your your time, probably $3,000 to $4,000 of your own personal effort. I've taught you in the first part how to leverage your time and know your value. If you go through our call centers and do our program like joinm2m.com, we give you rates as low as $4.50 an hour. And here's the really cool part. There's no setup fee. So on average, it's about $1,000 after you put the dialer in there. But here's the best part is these leads are 100% exclusive. Nobody else gets them. That's the beauty of a cold call center. You're paying a little bit more. You cultivate and create the list. We teach you and show you the best list to upload to have the cold callers do it. And you get KPI reports on a daily or weekly basis, whichever you want to do. And that is a little bit longer of a play, but the leads are completely exclusive to you. Nobody else gets them. And honestly, those are going to create the highest profit for you. But the days of just doing PPL, I'm not even going to talk about PPC because I think it's very expensive. And most of the time, PPL and PPC is out of reach for the average new wholesaler that comes in, and we know it. So I've given you 3 options on your value to leads. Number 1, you can do Dollar Leads Club. It's $1. Get 500. Understand you're going to have to work through it. Much better than calling 10 to 12,000 ice cold leads on your own. Number 2, you want to step it up. You got a little bit more money. Do the Diamond Clubs. You get exclusive leads, 56 trickled into you in the month. And then here's the best part is you don't have a huge investment in time. You don't need complicated systems, and you get the MP3, the most important piece of data when having a cold call lead. There's nothing better than the actual MP3 file. I love a transcription, but to hear the tonality of someone's voice, 10 times more powerful. And with the Diamond Leads, we give you the maximum allowable offer, and we give you the ARV of the property, and we give you a map location where it is. That's right. We're simple. We just simplify it. If you want AI, just go into X Leads. It'll evaluate it for you. But honestly, I love AI for marketing, but I don't need to overanalyze a deal. I need to find out if I have a motivated seller and if they need to sell, and if I can work with them and solve a problem by gaining their trust and creating a win-win situation. That's it. That's all that. At the end of the day, you can have all these bells and whistles on sites. Give me the MP3 file. Give me the location of the property. Let me find out if they're motivated and put a deal together. Use the skills we teach you in freewholesaling.com or join m2m.com, and we take it down. The last one is the cold call center. It's around $1,000 a month. They give you the most exclusive leads. It's more money up front. On average, you can produce about 650 to 60 leads a month. If you look at the value on that, they runs up being $15-20 a lead. It's more of a commitment. You really have to do that for 3 months to make it work. But my God, the profit on those, because remember, you're the only one calling on those lists, and you can micromanage and pick the exact market you want. Remember, Dollar Lead and Diamond Club are nationwide leads. So I've given you 3 simple options so you can jumpstart your wholesaling in 2026. If you go through these 4 bullet points, if you will follow them to a T, I assure you, you are starting off on the best platform. This is the best way going in 2026. Talking from a guy who started in 2003, I love this business. The fundamentals will always stay the same. The technology and the speed of this business, you have to keep up with, or you're going to be left in the dust. Guys, let me know in the comments which method you're going to choose and attack in 2026. And as usual, if you got value from this video, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's share this video of people who want to find the truth out about wholesaling. This is Rick Ginn. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.